Takes it. Gets a block. Are you kidding?
And a steal. Miller retreats to the three-point line and hits again.
Pajero! Oh, you beauty! What a headshot! What a head!
Welcome to the No Regard podcast. My name's Nathan Bleakley.
I'm Marcelo Lucha.
Episode 8, we're firing and ready to go this week.
Yeah, man.
So I think for once we'll actually keep it local when we start. I think a lot of the time we've been shipping off overseas, over to America, over to Europe.
Let's give some love to Australia.
Let's stay local for this time.
Actually, you know what? Just first, Nathan, how was your birthday week? Because your birthday was midweek, and although we did say happy birthday to you last week,
My
I don't know
birthday
what
was
you got
great,
up to.
man. Like my whole day was pretty much just at uni, and then we went out and lost a netball final. But
Tell the people about that.
it was a scathing grand final loss. They just outclassed us all game, but you know, we've had a lot of fun this season. It was a great team we had at the UQ Bizballers. So good times,
What was the
man.
score?
Something like 24-12 or something.
Oh my goodness.
Just got wrecked.
All right, let's get on to
Let's
the
move
podcast.
on. I'd also like to I'd like to say thanks to all the pod listeners for giving me a good solid roasting on my Facebook wall on my birthday.
Gotta love it.
Quite a brutal roast this year.
All right, well, AFL. The West Coast Eagles have been playing pretty well, hey?
Yeah, there's been a few informed sides in the AFL. I'm really liking how the WA sides are representing this season. Like the West Coast Eagles, obviously, they've been a bit of a mid-table side the last few years. You know, sort of like not really challenging when they do make finals, or they're just missing out on finals when they miss out. They've been playing really well under the radar this season. I think they're 6-2 now, so 6 wins, 2 losses. They're backed by some strong performances from last year's Brownlow winner, so that's basically the best and fairest in the AFL.
Yep.
Matt Prittis won last season, and he's come out in a similar form this season. Like, he's just been absolutely brilliant. Always high-intensity game, really aggressive. There's been some other really good players that have come out of nowhere as well. There are other midfielders as well, like Luke Shuey and Andrew Gaff have played really well. Josh J. Kennedy leads the AFL in goals, who I really like. He's always prone to some big games, but it looks like finally now there's some consistency with himself.
Right.
So that's really good to see as well. And my big shout as well in my AFL fantasy team. So anyone in that always has to get a shout on the pod. Elliot Yeo, actually a former Brisbane Lions player.
Right.
He left with that mass exodus of players who didn't really like the club was doing, so he left. And he's really carving it up at West Coast, man. Like, he's made the move from the back line to the midfield. And look, I'd put him in the same breath as maybe a future representation of Nathan Fyfe. Like, he really has that strong-bodied, really strong to pack mark sort of aggressive midfielder. So that's one to watch for the future.
Right, I thought you were going to say you were playing fantasy with him. Like, he was in your league.
No,
I was like, damn.
No, he's in my team. He's in my
Right,
team.
that's pretty cool.
And then some other teams I like to mention. Freo, obviously top of the table. They haven't lost a game yet. Like, they're 8-0. There's nothing really can fault with them so far. Nathan Fyfe's been a Brownlow leader, in my opinion. He's been really, really good throughout the season.
Say it, Nathan.
I'm not going to say it this week. But people who've listened to the pod know what I think about Nathan Fyfe pretty strongly.
Yeah.
But the whole Fremantle team's doing really well this season. Like, they're a solid unit. They're probably one of the older sides in the AFL with older players like McFarlane, like Matthew Pavlich. But it's really good to see the WA sides playing well. And another one I'd like to mention, GWS winning over Adelaide yesterday. This was a group of kids that wasn't expected to make the finals. Like, this was obviously a team that got put into the AFL as an expansion team in 2012. And even though they're pretty midfield heavy, so a lot of their guys are playing out of position, they're all really hard runners. They go really hard at the footy, and you know they might make finals this year. Like, they're really surprising me throughout the season. Every time I think they might be a bit underwhelming, they actually take it up a notch. So It's really good to see.
I mean, just a point, like, it's surprising to me at least to see like West Coast teams getting like really good players, because you'd think like the city teams would be getting the best players.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of people think obviously the heart of AFL is in Melbourne, and like it's good to see. Everyone loves seeing those teams out of Victoria doing really well. Like, so everyone likes seeing the Sydney teams doing well, which they are. Everyone likes seeing the Adelaide teams do well. or especially this year, everyone likes seeing the Perth teams do well.
Yeah, because like from a talent pool perspective, you think about it, like the population in these big cities, there's so many good players to pick from.
Especially because the AFL cultures in some of the certain cities compared to others.
Right, and on the West Coast, you only got Perth.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Right?
No, no disrespect to Western Australia. There isn't just Perth and Western Australia.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of land in between us and them.
And one last shout in AFL, I just want to shout to two players. The Collingwood game played this week, they absolutely blew out the Gold Coast Suns. Scott Pendlebury played his 200th game. In my opinion, it's hard to think of Scott Pendlebury's already played 200 games. So in the AFL, 200 games is a lot of games, basically. Because a lot of different sports have different amount of games.
It's not the NBA.
But 200 games is a lot of games. He's still really young. He's in the prime of his career. He's a great captain, in my opinion, a great leader. And in my opinion, he is probably up there with Chris Judd and Gary Ablett as the best midfielder of our generation.
Right.
And maybe even one of the best players of our generation. So it's really good to see him plying his trade and still being such a consistent, great force. He was easily the best player on the ground on the weekend.
Yeah. So what are some matches you're looking forward to, man?
There was... I'd also like to mention Kane Corn's retired. Like, he reached 300 on the weekend, and he's just like, that's it, I'm retiring at 300.
Yeah.
So kind of a mid-season retirement, which is kind of weird. He's a legend of the sport too, a premiership player in 2004. So shouts to Kane Corns. But I'm really looking forward to probably today. The game's already going to be played, but when we say the pod, but I like the Lions' chances today actually.
Oh yeah.
They've won 2 on the trot. They're playing Essendon. Shouts to the Lions. Hopefully you win.
Before Nathan gets heartbroken.
And next week I'll be here with a very angry rant on the Lions.
Nothing new.
Nothing new.
Just same old No Regard podcast.
That's it. So how about we hop on a plane, Marcelo, and hop over to Europe?
All right, so a little segment we like to call Manager Merri-Go-Round.
That's it. So we're coming to the very cusp of the season. Like, really only that's left is a couple of cup finals, and then we're done with football for about the grand total of a month before we start the next season.
Look, we've got to be honest with you, audience. It's a slow sports week.
We're
trying to find things to talk about.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
So we've got to fill up the hour for you guys.
You've got to forgive us.
But so we've got a few managers that might move around the off-season depending on how their teams did during the season. So obviously in Europe there's a lot of big clubs, there's a lot of big names. Mm-hmm. And behind those big names they're led by the man on the side of the pitch who's screaming to side the manager.
Yep.
And there's some pretty colourful characters in Europe that might be on the move this season.
All right.
So how about we start with the obvious one? It was a really inspiring send-off to see Jurgen Klopp. Pronunciations aside, obviously, these are European guys, so I may not be...
No, you got that right. You got that right.
It was really great to see the Borussia Dortmund side send him off in such a gracious manner. In my opinion, they're the best fans of any soccer side in any side in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with that.
They present the best at home. So the yellow wall really sent him off in style. So shouts to Jurgen Klopp. But obviously, since we're media, we got to talk about his future.
All right. So where do you think he goes?
He's a really charismatic manager, and I think he has the potential to... Because the frustrating thing, I think, for him with Borussia Dortmund was that the club didn't back him enough to hold on to the players that he wanted and to pursue the players that he might want to pursue, given the club's level of ambition from when he got there to when he left. So he took them from basically a second string sort of side to Champions League final.
Yeah.
And he's such an intense guy too. Like, where do you think he ends up? I'm not sure.
Look, I'm really not sure, but yeah, you talk about the transformation that he made to the team, and it wasn't just himself. He did have good players, Lewandowski, Raul, Götze. I mean, he has a lot of good players. Gundogan as well is one of my favorite midfielders.
He really developed a lot of young guys. So
right.
I think a team with a lot of young guys to develop that might want to take their club to a next level might be the sort of club that wants him.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, in terms of where he goes, that's such a tough question because I can't see him going to England.
Yeah, because obviously we read a lot of sports media that's led by the English media, so obviously they want him. They say a lot of the players going in the English media, but that's not always the case. Mm-hmm. I can't see him going to Spain. I can't see him managing Real Madrid or Barca, to be honest.
And in terms of teams that he would want to manage, it's pretty much those two and Atletico. And Atletico's not getting rid of Diego Simeone.
Diego Simeone is not going anywhere. He's
No.
one of the best managers in the world.
So maybe Monaco?
Monaco, maybe.
I mean,
given the club's owners and the level of ambition that they want, like they pursue him pretty hard.
I mean, you give Jurgen Klopp a huge budget like that. You got João Moutinho in that lineup, who's one of my favorite midfielders. We've talked about that before. I think he could do some nice things in France.
One move that I might want to see, and you talked about it before, if Wenger, and I think given he's managed there for 20 years, if he wants to leave, he leaves on his own terms.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think he will. He'll leave on his own terms, as Sir Alex Ferguson did.
Yeah.
I could see him as the next manager of Arsenal.
You know, I was thinking that before.
Because
but
it's a young group of guys that maybe need their game to be taken to the next level. Guys like Wilshere, well, he's not really very young anymore, but he's a guy that maybe needs to take his game to the next level. There's a few guys in that line. Giroud could maybe take his game to the next level, and I think Klopp could be the sort of manager that facilitates that sort of advancement in these guys' games. Like, he's a very good manager,
Right.
And I think I could see him in Arsenal in maybe 1 or 2 years time.
yeah, I mean, if he goes to England, he's not going to Chelsea.
He could be a Manchester United manager.
No, I can't see that. I can't see Jurgen Klopp at United. I think United would want higher pedigree. Well, I mean,
Yeah, no, that's fair
as
enough.
great as he is, he's
They're still trying to fill the void,
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
opinion.
he wouldn't manage City. Okay, I don't think he'd manage Liverpool either. He'd probably be down at Arsenal, Spurs, maybe Everton, and I couldn't see him going to
I
Everton
couldn't see him
either.
going to Everton.
So
It'd be a good turnaround story, though. Same thing with BVB. Maybe he takes the event Everton to the Champions League.
and maybe he takes a year break. I mean, maybe all he needs is a break.
sabbatical, like Pep did.
Yeah.
That might be a good idea. Take a holiday.
mean,
You've earned it, Klopp. You've earned
Oh, have you seen how stressed this guy gets
Yeah.
on the sideline?
it. You've earned it, man.
yeah.
Shouts to Jurgen Klopp. So next we're going to talk about Carlos Ancelotti. Obviously, as far as we know, he's still managing Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But obviously, the rumour mill has been pretty strong lately that he might be out the door for coming second. Like, that's ridiculous.
To a historic Barcelona team.
To a historic Barcelona team getting knocked out by Juventus.
Oh, yeah, and
Yeah.
a Barcelona team with the best player ever, in our opinion.
Yeah.
So,
And a lot of other people's opinion.
Right, so, but this is the thing, you talk about the standards in Madrid.
Yeah, like I think a lot of times, sometimes football teams ignore the context when they fire their managers. Like, yeah, you came second, but this Barca team was really, really, really good.
Yeah.
You lost the cup in the cup, but Barca won it because they're really, really, really good. Champions League, you lost to Juventus. Well, that's your fault, and that isn't necessarily your fault. But like that Juventus team is also really, really,
Yeah, it's
really
a stacked team, yeah.
good. And you're not going to win Champions League every year. No one's repeated ever. Like you can't. It's kind of messed up with these big clubs that have such high expectations.
Right, and I think Pellegrini it was Pellegrini that won a championship and he still got fired.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
it's ridiculous
Yeah.
sometimes. Di Matteo won in Chelsea. Di Matteo won the Champions League and then he got fired before they even got knocked out the next season.
Yeah. So it happens on a broader scale. It's not just Madrid.
It's not just Madrid, but Madrid would be the most impatient level. They've a funny stat for you. Besides Mourinho, in the last, I think, 15 years, they've never had a manager for more than 2 years.
Yeah.
So I think Ancelotti,
That just speaks to it.
The Ancelotti is probably doomed to join those ranks
Mm-hmm.
to be the next on the merry-go-round to head out of Madrid.
I agree. I think he leaves.
Where did he go?
He might be coaching international.
Yeah, that's a good
Because
idea.
you think about it, like there's a lot of
He's got a very, very, very good record as a club manager. too.
right. There's a lot of international tournaments coming up in the next few years.
Sure, Euros coming up
You
next
got
year.
Olympics as well.
Yeah.
So there's going to be teams that are on the market for a high coach like him. But so you think about where he goes, maybe in Europe as for clubs. I don't think he goes back to England.
True.
I mean,
He did have a good record with Chelsea. He won the league with them,
Right.
as well as the FA Cup.
So what about an Italian team? I could
An
see him going to
Italian
Inter, AC.
Yeah, no, he has a bit obviously his best spell ever was with AC Milan, winning the Champions League, winning the league several times. He could go back there, but I think the Italian league is, let's be honest, it's in the doldrums right now.
Right. Well, maybe that's
Outside
what
of
it
Europe.
needs.
Yeah, maybe one of those sides needs a high-profile manager to get it back on track, especially Milan, man. Like, it's hard for me to watch AC Milan doing what they're doing at the moment, especially with El Shaarawy. Like, he's not living up to his potential, in my opinion. He made me so... He scored 16 goals in half a season. I'm like, this, like, when he was 19, I'm like, this dude's legit.
Yeah, but he was injured for a while.
He was injured for a while, but he hasn't got his form back. And, there's some really good young guys in that AC side.
Yeah.
So they need the right system to make them flourish. Next on the list, Pep Guardiola.
Yeah?
Do you want to go in on this?
This is hard for me, man.
I know.
It's hard because you know how much love as a Barcelona fan I have for Pep, right?
Yeah.
You're just 7 championships in a year. Is that even ever going to happen again, right? Like, it's ridiculous.
Does he stay?
Does he stay or does he go? I don't know, man. I think he might leave. Honestly, I think he might leave.
But to be honest, where'd he go from? Dude, I reckon City would be chasing him pretty hard.
So those are the rumours right now, right? Out of the English
City's
media.
chasing every manager hard because City doesn't have any patience. Like,
Yeah.
the Pellegrini's out the door for coming like third. Like, by Pellegrini,
Yeah, but that's a really stacked team.
Yeah, it is.
Talent-wise, that's on par with Chelsea. For that league.
If you can keep Aguero healthy, you can just keep Yaya Toure full stop.
Yeah.
You're in a position to do really well.
Yeah, they have the pieces. They're strong at every position.
Yeah. And
maybe City.
If they go out and get Paul Pogba too, like one of my favourite players, they get the right manager. Watch out, City.
Hey, don't be surprised if Guardiola takes another year off though. This guy, he likes his vacations.
Yeah, exactly. When he gets stressed, there's a lot of pressure on Guardiola wherever he goes.
Yeah.
Considering his legacy he left at Barcelona.
And he came out and said if Bayern fans expect to travel every year, then he's not the right manager for the job.
Yeah, exactly.
And when he said that, I kind of got a hint to this guy's leaving. I don't think he stays at Bayern.
And no side should expect to treble. To be honest, there's been 5 trebles ever. Did Inter win the treble in 2010?
I'm not sure.
They won the league. They won.
I'm not sure if they won the Italian Cup.
Yeah, no.
Did they?
Yeah, they won. They won the treble. So, United won the treble with Ferguson once. Barca won the treble and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
But they only won it once, even with that historic team. You have
Yeah,
Inter, who won the treble
Yeah.
in a weak Italian league. And then you have the historic Bayern team under their last manager. So, and Barca might win it this season, but,
Hey.
it's...
If I'm right about my picks, I got Barca winning the treble.
Oh, they're not going to go down to Athletic, unless they collapse.
Yeah.
They're going to go down to Athletic.
Yo, Nathan, we need a stats guy, man. There's a position open at the No Regard
There is a position
podcast.
open.
We need someone whispering in our ear.
I'm doing the best off the top of my head. We need our underdog, man.
Yeah, exactly.
We need an underdog.
LeBron 3 years in Miami. Come on, Marcel.
Yeah,
come on, man.
And the man from rural China.
Oh,
The blunder of the pod. Let's talk about two more managers of perhaps 2 of the biggest clubs in England, Louis van Gaal and Arsene Wenger.
oof.
Do either of these clubs have the patience for both these guys, despite them both making the Champions League?
I think Van Gaal stays for a season. I think they'll let him play it out.
I think that's what they need at United. I think they need stability.
Yeah.
They're a team. Look, Ferguson didn't win anything in his first 3 years, and then they exploded.
Right.
Van Gaal's had some good records in his career. He's got the runs on the board. Just give him time.
Yeah.
Just the English media is brutal, man. It's brutal on everyone.
Oh, yeah. And, okay, so defensively, United are going to need to pick it up because we're at least...
And Hummels would be a good pickup. An even better pickup would be Sami Khedira, who we just recently found out via Instagram is actually leaving Real Madrid, he's been frozen out all season. I think it's the right move. I personally consider him one of the best defensive midfielders in the world when he is playing.
Yep.
And an English team should be right on that shit. Either Arsenal or Man United should be hey, how you going? We need you right now.
Yeah. But on top of the defensive woes, the hole that De Gea is gonna leave because he's leaving.
Yeah. You're sure he's going to Madrid?
I'm 100% sure he's
because
going.
the media attention is pretty loud.
Yeah.
Plus he is Spanish.
Yeah. Plus, Casillas came out this week. It's we should probably buy him because he's the future. Because give him a couple of years.
He hasn't been great the last few seasons.
Casillas might retire.
Retire?
Because you think about it, he spent his whole life at Real Madrid. Okay.
Yeah,
he is
academy kid coming up.
Yeah.
And he's been a fixture in that first team for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, countless trophies. He's played with 2 Galactico sides, countless championships, like I said, and he's been in Spain his whole life.
Yeah. And he's won a World Cup.
World Cup winner.
What else are you going to do?
Euro winner.
You've literally done everything in your career.
Pretty much. So if...
But then again, as we heard from Pop a month ago in the NBA, the paycheck's pretty good in professional sports.
Right, but I think Casillas isn't made of that cloth. I think he might retire, honestly, if we're right about De Gea leaving.
Right,
but back to United and Van Gaal, I think, yeah, they do give him another year.
That's good.
As for Wenger, we've talked about him before.
You're not the biggest Wenger fan in the world. We've heard that.
No, well, okay, so he does the right things for the owners of the club, right? He makes some money because he buys a lot of young players for like 500k, brings them up, trains them well in the academy, and suddenly he's selling them for 5-10 million. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
at least.
Right, so the owners love it. Okay,
Yeah.
They've paid off the stadium, the money's coming in. The Gunners is one of the biggest clubs in
We've
Europe.
seen their transfers get more ambitious the last few years now that stadium debt is off their heads.
Right.
Like we've seen them buy Sanchez, we've seen them buy Özil, we've seen them buy players like that.
But even then, okay, so Sanchez was the 4th best attacking player on the Barcelona team.
That Barcelona team was stacked, and he didn't get the opportunity, in my opinion. Like, it wasn't the right system for Sanchez. Like,
Right.
He was great at Udinese. He came to Barca. It wasn't the right fit, as it was for a lot of players, to be honest. Like, Pedro, to be honest, was the only one that really fit during that period. Like, David Villa didn't fit.
Ooh, I don't know.
There was a season or two where he was really, really good.
Right.
But you can blame it on age. You can blame it on not being the right system. But
Actually, yeah, I think I might agree with you because
yeah,
Villa
that
just didn't
system
fit.
revolved around Messi. Like that was like right now it's been good because now they've actually moved Messi out to the right and a bit deeper than he played, and now they're playing Suarez as the actual centre forward.
Right.
But at the times Messi was the centre forward. He had all the space, and the other guys just like you're just the other two guys on the field. Just score some goals when you can, but make room for Messi. Like,
Yeah.
And I like the system much more now, to be honest. I like Luis Enrique's system a lot more.
In fairness to Arsene Wenger, Arsenal did really well this season.
Yeah.
But at the start of the season, like the hopes are so high. We talk about football all the time, and we're always saying, Arsenal has a shot this year.
Yeah.
And it's Arsenal. The chance is there.
Then they blunder it during the mid-season, and then they just kind of settle.
Injuries come in.
They'll always make the Champions League. But
Forms dip, and
you got to ask, is that good enough? If what they do in the Champions League is just get knocked out in the round of 16 every year.
right. So what I'm seeing is Arsenal declining as a club because of their lack of success. Right.
Lack of ambition, I blame it on.
Right, and who's the man to blame? You can't blame the players because they leave it out on the pitch all the time. They've got some of the best players in the league.
Arsenal full stop for that.
Right, exactly.
For the lack of ambition, lack of success.
Arsenal's got to get rid of Arsene Wenger, man. Honestly, you got to start winning important championships. You got to start winning UEFA Champions Leagues. Barclays Premier Leagues. Like go play in the Club World Cup. These are the ambitions that you need to be getting to.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, really?
And let's be honest, we're not hating on Arsenal. We're like disappointed parents. We're like,
right.
But Arsenal getting like a B every year on their report card, and we're like, you're getting a B. Well, we know you can get an A.
Smart enough to get an A.
Yeah, you're smart enough to get an A. Like,
Story of my life.
You do it. You're passing everything like that, but we know you can do better. So we're the disappointed parents of Arsenal. Like we know you can do better on your report card, mate. Like hustle up. And Arsene Wenger's just that like stingy kid that they shouldn't be hanging around with in school. Like that's kind of impacting like what they're doing. All right, let's get off random school.
Actually, though, before we move on, Rafa Benitez.
All right, currently managing Napoli, but do you think he should go and manage a bigger club?
Would it be good for his career? Maybe.
He's underrated for how much he's actually done.
Right.
Like he had a great run at Liverpool, and really good manager actually.
So, I believe in Brendan Rodgers. Yeah. Right, so like Liverpool.
I don't think he's going back to Liverpool. No chance.
No, as much as they love him there, no. Maybe Bayern.
All right, we'll keep that on the maybe list.
No, okay. Well, think about it, right? The guy's got pedigree. He's won leagues.
He's got pedigree.
Okay. Who do Bayern look to on the market? If Pellegrini leaves, I don't see him going to Bayern Munich.
No way.
No way.
No way at all. Maybe Ancelotti.
Maybe.
But like Bayern won't mess around. They'll either keep Pep or they'll find someone around that sort of level.
I mean, what about Benitez to Madrid if Ancelotti leaves? I could see Benitez doing well at Madrid.
I could see him doing that. Yeah, true.
Probably his hometown. I'm not sure about that.
I,
As a stats guy.
I think the Madrid fans would be pretty heavy on him though. Like they'd expect a lot, and whenever he'd mess up, they'd be heavy on him.
But that's just Madrid in general. Have you seen
Do you
like all
reckon
the?
Bale leaves, by the way?
I hope so.
I hope.
For his sake.
Yeah, because like the Madrid fans are really unfair on him.
It's
Like,
ridiculous.
I reckon I like that idea of De Gea and money for Bale.
Oh, damn.
I like that.
That's
idea.
a good deal for United.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good deal for United.
There's
like,
a lot of good keepers going around Europe.
Yeah, like to be honest, like players like Bale and players like De Gea, like if you can get that like for a straight swap, like
Yeah.
that, and like like he'd be well received at United. Like,
Right.
I reckon he belongs back in England. Let's be honest, English players out of England have not done well in the past.
No, they haven't.
And Bale has been good at Madrid. We're not knocking him, but I reckon he'll be back in the Premier League within a year.
Right, and just on keepers for a second because we mentioned De Gea.
Yeah.
And the amount of keepers floating around Europe. The Australian keepers have played so well. Matt Ryan just won his second year in a row the best keeper in Belgium. How great is that for Australian
That's
football?
awesome, man.
How awesome is
Shouts
that,
to Matt
man?
Ryan.
Shout to Matt Ryan, man. We see
And
you doing your
Langerack
thing.
is getting quite a few starts for Borussia Dortmund as well.
Just a little secret. I think Langerack is better than Matt Ryan. Okay.
Ooh.
So if Matt Ryan's winning those kind of awards,
Sneaky.
I mean, Langerack has got
And
potential.
who's the player that's playing for Reading? Who's the Reading keeper? Reading
Ooh.
keepers Australia.
Stats guy.
Stats guy.
Stats guy, where you at?
He was really good, although he did have a huge worst moment of his career blunder in the FA Cup semi-final. Like I remember watching it. It was
Stomping me, man.
Yeah, no, it was like 1-1,
Mhm.
and the play he does this little terrible fumble, and they score a goal, and they get knocked out of the FA Cup in the semi-final.
Oh,
all
my
on him,
goodness.
like pretty easy chance. Like
It's alright, mate.
One of those moments.
Just have a VB and get over it.
Yeah, just have a quick beverage. You'll be right.
Yeah.
We encourage responsible drinking on the Merri-Go podcast.
Unless you're Nathan Bleakley on his birthday.
Moving on to the next topic. No, but actually moving on. Let's hop on another plane.
Yep.
Let's head over to America.
Okay.
NBA playoffs.
Whoa. What about Xavi? Do you want to talk about Xavi for a second?
Okay, let's talk about Xavi.
Yeah?
So, Xavi Hernandez, legendary Barcelona midfielder,
Mhm.
making his last appearance for Barcelona.
Yeah.
I feel like you have some opinions to make.
Right, so it might not be a popular opinion among Barca fans because he's a club legend.
He is a club legend.
Keyword club
I think anyone that
legend.
plays almost their entire career for a club and won as many titles as Xavi has, and let's be honest, before you get in,
Mm-hmm.
he has won a lot of things as a player. He's made a
Yes.
lot of UEFA Team of the Years.
Mhm.
He's been in contention for Ballon d'Ors before, maybe not warranted contention for Ballon d'Ors, but he's made it.
No, yeah.
Um,
It's worth a note.
And then he's a World Cup winner as well.
Yeah.
So now go in.
So, okay. Right. Club legend, country legend.
Yep.
Okay. Did a
Agreed.
lot of things for Spain. Okay.
Agreed.
He assisted Fernando Torres in that first Euro that Spain won in the decade.
Mhm.
Okay. Which, for those of you that don't know, go back and watch that game. Xavi completely controlled that entire game.
Agreed.
Okay.
Is this decade 2012?
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe so. Or 20.
Shouts to Fernando Torres.
Stats guy. We need it.
Where are you? Where is Stats guy?
Yeah, shout out to the real Fernando Torres back when he was actually scoring. But okay, enough of that.
Yeah.
Xavi Hernandez is not one of the best midfielders to ever play the game. No way, not even close. Okay? Midfielders right now I would take over Xavi Hernandez. Iniesta, okay?
Agreed.
Schweinsteiger,
Agreed.
okay? I can't even think
Is
of
all
others.
overall career
No.
attributes or right now how
Okay.
good they are?
In Xavi's best form
ever?
ever?
The prime of their careers.
In the prime of the careers, I would take Iniesta, Schweinsteiger. I can't even keep thinking about this. There's a lot of Real Madrid midfielders I'll take over him. Xabi Alonso is a better player than Xavi Hernandez.
Zidane easily.
Right, okay, but I'm just talking current generation.
Yeah,
Zidane is top 3 all time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Xavi doesn't even come close. Okay, and I'm hearing a lot of people say, Xavi might be top 5 midfielder of all time. Xavi might go down as the best controlling.
Xabi Alonso.
Xabi Alonso is better than Xavi Hernandez. Straight out. The guy can hit a ball so sweetly and he can make all the passes. The only knock on him is that he can't defend.
How about the English midfielders, Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard? That's where we get murky. We won't go into that.
That gets a bit murky because those are different kind of players. More attacking players. Xavi kind of sits back, controls the game, makes all the passes. But he's not one of the best midfielders ever, man.
How about Paul Scholes?
Paul Scholes, who we failed to mention last week in our best English midfielders
Holy
ever.
shit.
Right?
By the way, sorry, Paul Scholes is way better than Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard, by the way.
And David Beckham all combined.
I'm going to just come out and say that. Paul Scholes is better than Frank Lampard as a Chelsea fan. Paul Scholes is... Jesus Christ.
Right, I can't believe we forgot it because we were talking about current generation, but he still is current generation. He only retired a few years ago.
Jesus Christ. Credibility points down.
Oh my goodness. But okay. Pretty much, Xavi isn't as good as people say he is. He is a great player, but he's not going to go down as one of the best ever.
Alright. Solid opinion, Marcelo. Now let's hop on a plane. We just delayed our flight for a bit. We're going to hop on the plane now.
As we usually have.
We're going to head over to Houston now. We're actually, just by the way, we're probably going to put out this podcast after the 2 Game 3s have been played.
Yep.
So,
Spare the hate.
As it being stands on midday on a Sunday, both Game 2s have been played for both the Western Conference Finals and Eastern Conference Finals.
Yep.
Opinions on the Western Conference Finals, Marcelo, so far?
They've been super games. I've been
games.
thoroughly entertained by these games. Golden State Warriors, Houston Rockets. Harden has been balling out, and we called it. We said Harden was going to play his Harden.
He has to.
He has been playing ridiculous basketball. Guarded by Klay Thompson, one of the best defending shooting guys in the league.
And do you know what the shame is? People are going to judge him off, when he... And you got to think, both these games have been really, really, really close.
Super close.
It's like, Golden State are 2-0 up, but it could easily be 2-0 up Houston. Because Game 1 was decided by Steph Curry hitting 2 clutch free throws to put it to make it a 2-possession game.
Yeah.
And obviously Game 2 was just the turnover in the last seconds, by Harden getting double teamed. He passed it. We'll break down this play. So basically,
okay.
I have some opinions on this play. So they get a rebound. Harrison Barnes and Andrew Bogut on the floor. So
okay.
They're not able to go. So 8 seconds. You have a timeout left. And they're running the fast break. It's Harden running the fast break. I'm glad they didn't call a timeout in retrospect. And it was the right move because you have James Harden, probably maybe the best fast break player in the league, coming up the floor.
Westbrook, LeBron.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, he's up there.
Because usually even on the fast, he usually can get a foul because he flops.
Yeah.
He's the best at flopping in the league. That's a skill.
Well, it is.
It is.
It is a skill.
You got to take advantage.
There's a lot of crappy floppers in this league.
Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't get fined.
No.
He's holding on to that fine money.
I mean, anyone can jump around, act like a baby, act like they've been shot, but it takes a real master at flopping to
Plus, he gets to the rim. But the one thing I have for Harden though is if you don't foul him, he scores. The reason he gets fouled a lot is if you don't foul him, he scores the bucket at the rim because he's really good around the rim. So he's there. And he gets double teamed by Curry and Clay. He throws the ball out thinking it's a shooter, you think it's Trevor Reese or something.
Right.
It's Dwight Howard. I really would love to see Dwight Howard just pop the 3.
Oh, man.
That would have just been the best in the world. But so Dwight Howard's wide open. He throws it back to James Harden in the double team for some stupid reason. This is I'm glad they didn't call the timeout coming up the floor. Mm-hmm. But when he threw it to Dwight should have called timeout. Dwight should have called timeout right there with 2 seconds on the clock. And they could have pulled a Lillard move.
Right.
But they didn't call timeout.
8 seconds is a long time.
Yeah, he threw it back to Harden. Harden lost the ball. Game over. But 2 games down, you can't live in the past like that. But Harden has played absolutely incredible basketball, absolutely out of his mind basketball, almost a 38-point triple-double in Game 2. And okay,
back to the play though, that's probably the first time I can remember Harden making a mistake like that.
Yeah, exactly. 9 times out of 10,
you can't knock him.
Probably more times than not, he probably would have got fouls and maybe won the game on free throws.
Exactly.
So it was very unlucky for him. Good defense. By the way, we're not locking the Golden State Warriors. They deserve to win both games. Mm-hmm. And really good defensive play on that last set, by the way.
Yeah.
Great double team. Glad they stuck with it too, because that obviously won them the game. Where does this series go from here?
I see Houston winning this next game.
I agree. They'll be Like, we saw Harden. He was really pissed after the game, knocked down some curtains. Like,
Right.
the man was mad. He's ready to kill that team in the next game. And it's...
Are they playing right now?
Yeah, I think they're playing right now.
Damn. Stats guy, we need it. No, okay, I don't even want to check the scores.
Yeah, don't want to check the scores. No point.
Houston wins this next game. But then it gets interesting, man. Does the series go 2-2? Or do Golden State go 3-1?
94%. This is... I'll be my own stat guy here. 94% of teams that go 2-0 up in the... I think just any series end up winning the series.
Right.
Only 4... I think it's 4 teams have come back ever from a 2-0 deficit in the conference finals.
And this is a historic Golden State team.
And I think it's something like the top 10 team ever in the regular season. The other 7 teams have won the title.
Yeah.
7 of the other teams. And the other 2 teams made finals. So, you know. Golden State will make the finals in 6. I think they'll kill them in Houston. I think.
You reckon 6?
6. They won't take it.
I'm saying 7. I got too much respect for Harden and Dwight.
Houston have to win 3 out of the next 4 games to take it to 7, though.
I believe in Harden, man.
All right.
I think he. We talked about that last mistake. If it doesn't happen,
And all they got to do is win 1 game, and there's the momentum.
Yeah.
Back in their court, and then they still have another game home to go. So they could turn this around.
Suddenly Josh Smith gets hot. No, honestly though, the ball starts falling in the basket.
Thought, imagine 4 months ago us talking about Josh Smith in the Western Conference
We'd
Finals.
be laughed out of the room.
Yeah, shouts to Josh Smith. He's going to get paid this offseason.
Oh hell yeah!
Same with Corey Brewer.
I like Corey Brewer.
And Pablo Prigioni, man. Former Nick.
Don't even talk about Pablo Prigioni, man. like the guy
betraying the cause.
Oh man. But moving on.
All these players that are playing horrible at their own teams, they come back and they're key role players on the second best team in the West.
It's ridiculous.
All right. Do you want to hop over the East?
Let's do it. Atlanta, Cleveland. Sweep time, man.
Sweep.
Bring out the cleaners.
Bring out the
broom. Let's sweep it up. It's over. Kyle Korver's down. LeBron's too good. Kyrie, hasn't been playing that well.
Kyrie's hobbled. Yeah.
But he's doing enough.
But LeBron is just doing it. LeBron has been LeBron the last 2 series. He's really just killed teams by himself.
Right.
I'm not gonna say by himself. It's a team sport. But
LeBron James is 5 players.
LeBron James. But he's doing really well. And the thing is, defenses collapse on it. The defenses give him too much respect in the way that they'll collapse in a double team straight away. He's like, open guy over here, open guy over there. So and when they don't respect him that much, they'll just get to the bucket. Just 2 points, easy. He's dominating this Atlanta team. He gets what he wants. He's getting triple doubles here and there. LeBron, I can see this going in 5 games. I think Atlanta will find a way to win in Game 4.
Win 1 game?
They'll win 1 game, but they'll lose in Game 5. Is the Hawks season becoming a little bit meaningless now? Because they win 60 games. They win the franchise record amount of games. They get 4 All-Stars in their team. No teams had that for a while. And they play awesome team basketball this season. They stumble a little bit in the end of the regular season. This might come up in the playoffs. It might be a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
They stumble in the first round. They stumble in the second round, but they get through both of those. And now they're coming up against a really good team. I'll be fair. Maybe you were right, Marcelo. You're saying these guys don't have a guy who, when things are tough and when things are in the clutch, they don't really have anyone to, turn it around for them.
Right, but we're talking about it now. They're 2-0 down, right? But this has been the conversation each series.
Yeah.
And we've disrespected them each time. I personally disrespected them.
I think it's different when we were disrespecting them, and now they're literally getting outmatched.
Yeah.
They're literally up against a better team.
Teague isn't the guy to look at to take on 2 players and rise over.
Let's be honest, Millsap's probably still going to get paid this offseason. Damari Carroll's been a revelation these past. Shouts to Damari Carroll.
Yeah.
He's done some mad work. It's a shame he's now a little bit injured. Thankfully, it wasn't as bad as we thought. I was really worried when I thought it was a torn MCL or something like that. But now he's he suited up for Game 2, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's going to get paid this offseason, but it may not be by the Hawks.
Yeah.
I can't see them getting Millsap and Carroll, because I think Carroll's going to get sneaky overpaid in the off-season. People
I mean, he might.
He'll get the people see what he's doing in the off-season, and there'll be some team that'll
Cap's getting raised.
Yeah, but like not next season, and some team will just be like, yeah, I'll pay $10 million for Damari Carroll.
Why not?
Yeah.
Might be a bargain. You never know.
You never know. Next Kawhi Leonard. Who knows?
But I mean, you ask, is it all?
He's got the same hair. Like that might be the key, man. Braids. Iverson, Kawhi, Damari Carroll. The secret's in the braids, man.
Is it a waste of a season for the Atlanta Hawks? No, I don't think so.
They're on the right track.
They're on the right track.
Old. Like, I love Al Horford. He's really good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He comes up in the moments like. They keep that band together. They're still a top 4 seed in the East.
Yep, Kyle Korver's going to continue doing that for years and years to come. What he's doing, just knocking down
34,
threes.
Man.
No, think about it, man.
Yeah.
Think about like Ray Allen, what he did.
He did that at 37. That's pretty sick.
That's all he needs to do. Just stay healthy, right? Because he's injured now.
Because I think teams will forget a little bit, like, that he didn't have a great playoffs. People will start disrespecting him. All he needs to do in next season is just get hot again. And
just stand in that corner, son. The ball will get to you. Just shoot the lights out.
Now people are going to respect Damari Carroll on offense as well. Like, now you've got legitimately 5 guys to worry about. So, they're not going to get through this year.
No.
But,
Oh, the disrespect is so strong.
They're
already talking about next season.
Let's be honest. They're not getting through this season.
I just feel bad because we talked about them.
We talked about them in free agency right now, man. Like, they got to worry about that sort of stuff. It's time to pack her up, boys. Pack her up, boys.
Pack it up.
All right. So we're calling I'm calling the Warriors in 6. You're calling the Warriors in 7.
Yep.
And you're calling the Cavs in a sweep.
Yep.
And I'm calling Cavs in 5. So either way, Cavs Warriors finals.
Ooh.
The King versus the baby-faced assassin.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be playoff experience in my opinion. The only one with strong playoff experience in that entire 2 teams is
LeBron James.
LeBron James. Does that play a factor if that happens? Does LeBron... Obviously, I think... Like, look, Golden State Warriors are a completely different animal to the Atlanta Hawks right now. Like,
well, okay, we'll talk about finals when it's actually set.
But,
because
I'm just saying it's going to be an interesting match.
Yeah, in terms of experience, LeBron James is going to carry that team.
Yeah, LeBron, 6 more wins. Six more wins, LeBron. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
And you can add to your ring finger. All right.
Hey, and if he wins this one, that's huge for his legacy.
It is.
First year back in Cleveland, are you kidding?
What a nice story. Like, it would be too for the city.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to something a little bit more hopeful for the teams that aren't exactly doing it too well right now.
Right.
The NBA draft lottery. It's an exciting night that takes
my goodness.
for most, but not for all.
I didn't really want to do this topic.
Marcelo, for the entire 7 weeks of the podcast, we've been able to avoid your team, the New York Knicks.
Well, come on, man. You haven't even shut your mouth about the Knicks. You've been giving me little jabs.
No, but little jabs. But there hasn't actually been a topic where we get to talk about the Knicks. And now we get to talk about how they can't even lose, right? They can't even tank properly.
We started winning games at the end of the season. Who does that? Why? No, you go the whole season. Melo's out. Okay, good. Just get healthy.
They go 3-3 in the last 6 games.
Why would you start winning in the last games? No, man. And we saw what happened.
Andrea Bargnani leading them to 3 wins.
Yo, the players dropping 20 points, 3 starters in double digits. Oh, I can't.
Landon Galloway just trying to stuff the stat sheet, ends up winning you games.
Oh my god. Alright.
So for people that don't understand why I'm laughing really hard and myself is really angry, the draft lottery happened. Basically, what the draft lottery is each team, depending on how badly you did, a higher percentage the worse you did, is the amount of percentage you get to get the number 1 pick. And the worse you are, the more likely you are of getting a higher pick.
Yeah.
So it was expected, given the percentages, the Minnesota Timberwolves would get pick 1, which they did.
Yep.
The New York Knicks would get the 2nd pick, the Philadelphia 76ers would get the 3rd pick, and the Lakers would get the 4th pick. Right. So basically these are the only picks we're talking about, considering there's a gulf between the top 4 guys, you'd say, and everyone else.
And
and probably the only development of the entire draft was the Knicks and Lakers actually swap spots, so the Knicks have the 4th spot, and the Lakers have the 2nd spot.
Mm-hmm. I I don't want to do this topic. Okay, well, all right. I think we both agree Towns goes first to Minnesota.
Towns goes first to Minnesota.
Minnesota's not trading away that pick.
By the way, for future prospects, we will have a big mock draft special before the actual NBA draft, but we just want to do some brief ones of the top 4 guys right now. So go on.
Yeah, chances of Minnesota trading that pick minus 100%. They're not trading away that pick.
No, Minnesota loves their number 1 picks. By the way, they're going to have 3 number 1 picks in the same thing. They have Anthony Bennett, so is he a number 1 pick? Well, no, but that's another thing. They have Andrew Wiggins, future superstar, and they'll have this guy.
Right. So chuck in Ricky Rubio, who can do some nice things. He's not the best point guard in the world, but
Zach LaVine.
Well, oh my god, that guy's highlight.
You know, if he can do what he does in a game, like he may be the next Westbrook.
Yeah,
like, you never know.
Minnesota got first. Towns. Right.
Towns, agreed.
Yep.
He fits them perfectly. Like Pekovic is still going to hold down their center spot.
Yep.
He's getting paid really well, and he's a defensive anchor basically. So they basically need a power forward. So they're going to play Towns at the power forward. He stretches the floor. He's great on the defensive end. Like he's a number 1 pick. Like
he's the best player in the draft.
The best player in the draft.
Yeah.
Made some nice moves on that Kentucky team.
Yeah. Really nice. Do you want to go to the second one?
Second pick. So I reckon there's 2 ways the Lakers can go with this. The way they should go, if Towns goes, get Okafor. You need a big man. Lakers have a really good record with historically good big men.
Yeah.
And Okafor could be the next guy. You never know. He can develop his defensive game. He's got the height. And to be honest, it was more the Duke system that I think made him look like a terrible defender because he was more just trying to stay on the floor and not get fouls and that sort of stuff. So, he could be an underrated defender coming into the draft. So I reckon you'd be doing well to get him in the second pick. Go on.
But I disagree with you. I don't think this guy can play a lick of defense.
Fair enough.
It's
but then you also have Julius Randle. That's a strong young front court.
I mean, you give the Lakers. You give the Lakers Okafor. Okay, let's say it happens. Kobe, and we'll have our free agent preview as well. So let's say you get 1 max player.
1 max player. Who would that be?
Let's say, for whatever's sake, let's say it's Love.
Let's say Kevin Love goes to the Lakers.
All right.
You would have Jordan Clarkson, who I really like as a young point guard. That could be. Looking back, that could be a big second-round steal, and I love when second-round steals, man, like Manu Ginobili, Dennis Rodman, second-round steals are fun to watch.
Yeah.
You have Kobe for maybe one of his last 1 or 2 seasons at the Lakers, so he can still make moves.
Yeah.
But I think his role needs to be a little bit less than this. He can't be throwing up 20 shots a game. He needs to back off the pedal a bit. What we saw just before he got injured, I think is the role he needs to play, where he was getting triple-doubles and throwing out 6 assists a game.
Yeah.
That sort of provider role. He's still the best player on the team.
Even though he's getting paid so much, the Lakers are going to have money. Because honestly, I think they get rid of Jordan Hill. He was on $7 million a year, I think.
Oh yeah. Sneaky Lakers prospect maybe. Tobias Harris, man. Orlando player, by the way. He's coming into his free agency. Orlando might draft a small forward because Tobias Harris could demand a lot of money. He's good at the small forward spot. He's a stat sheet stuffer. So, Lakers might make a sneaky move if they don't get Jimmy Butler, who is their main target, by the way.
Okay, so, hypothetically, if they get Jimmy Butler.
So, which I would hate, by the way, but go on.
That's a great team. That's a playoff team.
Yeah, so, you have Clarkson, Kobe, Butler, Randall, and Okafor. So, that's a very young team.
And who's to say they don't get 2 max contracts?
Yeah, true. And then they'd be going into the next season as well. I reckon they would pursue hell for leather. They'd be pursuing Kevin Durant. They would really want Kevin Durant.
Or Westbrook.
That's true.
So, I mean, the Lakers, you're in a good position. This 2 pick has kind of saved your future for the next 2 years, honestly.
Exactly. In this draft, there's a big difference between getting the 2nd pick and getting the 4th pick.
Well, yeah, and the 3rd pick as well.
And the 3rd pick. So,
let's look Philadelphia.
Let's say they get Okafor.
Okay.
The Sixers have the 3rd pick. It's not even a contest. You get D'Angelo Russell.
Right.
James Harden 2.0, as he has been called. He can shoot the ball. He can drive the ball. He's really, really, really good. I reckon...
And that's what they need. They need offense.
He's a prospect to be the future best player in this draft. And then the Knicks, do they just get Mudiay?
I think he'd probably be the best player available.
Yeah.
Think about, okay, you know what I'm hearing though?
What?
New York media saying we're going to trade out this pick. Okay, let me give you a list of players that we could have gotten, okay? This is going to go for a while.
So this is, by the way, this is one maybe the past one have been really, really close to getting in the past drafts. Like, New York Knicks don't have a great history with drafting.
I'm releasing all my anger for the New York Knicks right now. Okay. Trevor Ariza, who we picked in the second round, traded him away for Steve Francis. Trevor Ariza, Nathan. David Wurst, first round. Mo Williams, okay. Kyle Korver, Louis Scola. I'm not going to mention Tony Parker because a lot of teams passed on him. Terrence Jones, Jared Solinger, Isaiah Thomas.
Jesus Christ.
There's so many players here. Lance Stevenson, Patrick Beverley, Goran Dragic, Kyle Lowry, Paul Millsap, Brook Lopez, Marc Gasol. We could have even got Curry if we traded up just a few positions.
Yeah.
I mean, the history of the Knicks isn't good when we trade out, and we got to stop getting foreign players as well. I don't know why are we getting foreign players? I don't mind the European players. I think they can play. You know, I'm an advocate for having European teams.
You shouldn't be in love with them all the time.
Exactly. Just get a good old American player that's gotten up here in the college system who knows how to play basketball the way Americans play it. That's all we need. Just a foundation. Please, New York. Just please. Please, Phil Jackson. Just don't screw us over again. Okay? If you trade out from this position, what is the bet that whoever picks
who
for...
would you really get for the fourth pick anyway? Like,
we'd get, like, what? 2 second rounders, maybe?
2 second rounders?
A second rounder and a third rounder? It's not even worth it, man.
Like, and it would maybe be like 1 or 2, maybe solid. Like, you would want an all-star, basically.
Right. This isn't that deep in the draft.
For the 4 pick, I reckon the team would be dumb to trade out an all-star.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
it may be... But, like, don't doubt Mudiay, man. Like, he's a great athlete. Like, he could be really good. But could is the emphasis. Like, it's uncertainty with the draft, man.
We needed the first or second pick. I'm just got to say
you needed a big man.
Yeah.
Like,
It's hard to talk about my Knicks, man. Honestly, it is really hard to talk about my Knicks because, like, I believe in Melo.
The number 4 pick, the New York Knicks draft, Kristaps Porzingis.
Because, like, I really do believe in Melo, and I think he gets a bad rap for not playing well.
Yeah.
Like, he's a bully under the basket. He's one of the best rebounders in the league.
But it's like the English media in soccer. Like, New York media is brutal. Like,
Right. So, whatever happens with this 4th pick, the next question I've got for you is, should we get rid of Melo? And I don't even want to answer this question because I can't. Because my heart's too invested in it.
I think the Knicks still have to go for it with Melo because they owe it to him since he did show the loyalty when he could have easily and should have left for Chicago or should have left for Houston.
Chicago in the Eastern Conference Finals if they have Melo.
Chicago can get the rings made already if they have Melo.
Thank you. He's that good of a player.
But he's a player that will win a ring with pieces around him.
Yeah.
Like, as any player does need to. Like, I can't think of a player that's won it by himself. Mm-hmm. I honestly can't.
And people give him such a bad rap for being a bad defender. Yes, he's bad in scheme defenses, but he can play one-on-one defense.
Yeah.
He can. Go back and watch any game where Melo was guarding a top offensive player on the other team. He will play it well.
He doesn't earn his bread for being a defender. Like, he earns his bread for being one of the best offensive players.
Dropping 30.
He's maybe one of the best most creative offensive players maybe of all time. Like,
okay, look, I know this might not go down well with the viewers, but I've got him on the same level as Kevin Durant offensively.
I agree with that.
You talk about this guy in the post. He can rise up over anyone. He's a bully, like I said before.
It's just we haven't seen the best of Melo in at least a year or two.
Kobe, LeBron both say Melo is the hardest to guard in the league. What more can you say, man?
You know, you can't. Once you get the rat from players like that, what can you say?
Yeah.
All right, just quickly, we're going to mention the All-NBA teams that have come out.
Yep.
So, a pretty unanimous first team: Curry, Harden, LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Marc Gasol. Do you have any problems with that?
No.
I reckon those are the five. Those are the 5 best players at this position. I don't have any problem with that. I think the second and third teams is where it kind of gets a bit murky.
I have a huge problem with Pau Gasol on that second team.
So just quickly, the second team, Chris Paul. no problems.
No problem.
One of the best point guards in the league. Westbrook had a great season. No problem.
No
Deserved
problem.
to be there. DeMarcus Cousins, best center in the league.
That's fine.
As
Yep.
player-wise, he's the best big man in the league by Anthony Davis. Like,
Yeah, but what Marcus Gasol and Memphis did together,
yeah.
put him on that first team.
Marcus All winning-wise, you can't put a player in a 24-win team in the first team All-NBA.
Yep.
Cousins deserves to be in the second team. And LaMarcus Aldridge.
I'm fine with Marcus Aldridge.
Yep.
Played really
So-
well, get healthy.
And just quickly, the third team, Kyrie Irving.
Mm-hmm.
Klay Thompson deserves to be on an All-NBA team given his season.
Yep.
Blake Griffin, All-NBA fixture. Like, he's one of the best 15 players in the league, no
Yep.
doubt. Tim Duncan. Shouts to Tim Duncan. You know how much love I have for Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Like, he had a great defensive season.
Yeah.
And DeAndre Jordan.
Right. Okay. So, Pau Gasol doesn't deserve to be on the All-NBA second team. Okay?
Mhm.
Do we agree on that?
Yep.
Okay, now the question is, could you put either Blake Griffin or DeAndre Jordan on that second team? Because DeMarcus Cousins is already on the All-NBA. He could just be center.
Yeah, exactly. He
position,
is a center.
Right, so they've got him down as a forward, which
Griffin,
is kind
in
of a
my
joke.
mind, deserves to be second team over Pau Gasol.
Yeah.
Pau Gasol has empty stats, in my opinion. Like, as a Bulls fan, like, he had a great impact on our team this season, a big reason why we were a top 4 seed, but second half of the season wasn't great. And this is, like, they aren't voting, like, halfway through the season, like the All-Star game. Like, this is this part of the season. Like, does he even deserve to be on an All-NBA team over guys like, these are notable guys that missed out, by the way, Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was a better player this season, in my mind, than Gasol for the Bulls.
Just on those two that missed out. I mean, Kawhi Leonard deserved to be there.
He was Defensive Player of the Year. Should have been on All NBA team, no doubt.
I'm not even sure about Kyrie
I think he
Irving
just
being
missed
there.
out because of positioning, by the way. John Wall.
Can we talk about John Wall for a second?
John Wall should be in there over Kyrie Irving.
Thank you.
Kyrie Irving is a great player. Like, he's a great player, top 20 player in the league, even better than that, probably. John Wall is the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. There is no discrepancy in my mind.
Yeah, you're right.
He is on that next tier down from, in my mind, the best point guards in the league are 1A, 1B, and 1C, Curry, Paul, Westbrook.
Yeah.
John Wall is that one player, just not the
Yeah,
player
he's just not on that level
He
yet.
just doesn't have a reliable enough jumper, in my opinion.
And he hasn't won as much as the others as well.
Exactly. Like, you know, what can you do?
Yeah.
And then no Atlanta Hawks players on the All-NBA team. So Millsap and Horford missed out. But when
I'm okay with that.
But when you got players like Tim Duncan, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan ahead of you, it's a bit tough.
Yeah, it's a bit tough. And like we said before, the stars on that team are they're not there.
Exactly. So how about we hop into our question of the week, Marcelo?
All right.
We've got... We may be jumping the gun a bit here. Do you think 7 years is a little bit early?
No,
it's not.
It's not early enough.
Not
We should have done
early
this
enough.
2 years ago, man.
We should have started the pod in school and just talked about this.
Just ripped into FIFA.
So, the most corrupt organisation in the world.
Yes. Led by the most corrupt man in the world, apart from Silvio Berlusconi.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
So, respectively, that is FIFA and Sepp Blatter.
Yep.
Qatar's holding the 2022 World Cup. There's a few things you can talk about this. Shouts to, by the way, we got the inspiration for this section from John Oliver.
Right.
You know, like, go check out John Oliver.
Yep.
Great.
Last week tonight, one of the best shows going.
Agreed. So, why the hell is Qatar hosting the 2022 World Cup, Marcelo?
All right. Pros. There's not many, but let's list them. Okay. Qatar. Okay. It's a new nation, right?
Agreed.
It's good to put the sport into a new scene where other sports might not be. Where football might not be the premier sport. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly you've got a whole region that's crowding around the World Cup. It's great. Okay. Second point, like you said, money. Right. Qatar's one of the richest places in the world. All right. Like, there's a whole lot of oil money there. There's a whole lot of rich people living there. Okay?
Exactly the motivation you should have to host a FIFA World Cup. By the
No,
way.
because so FIFA's going to get paid here. All right?
By the way, I watched an interview recently. People got paid for their votes. Like, legitimately, one of the witnesses in the room while this happened, respectively, the voters, I think there's like 22 voters, and you just have to have the majority to get it in the country.
Right.
They were paid $1.5 million each
Yeah.
to have it in Qatar.
Like, this is the most corrupt
This is the most
thing ever.
corrupt decision ever. Like,
Yeah. And the fact that they're going to be playing in the club season window, like European.
They have to, because, by the way, Qatar can get up to 50 degrees Celsius in the summer. Which
That's hot for even us Australians.
Yeah, no, that's just inhumane. Speaking of inhumane, how are people going to build this without an exorbitant amount of workers passing away from...
Right, because there's stats to prove this.
This is like a country that's pretty prone to pretty bad working conditions.
Yeah, there's not a lot of workplace health and safety
predict, here. Statman, we still want you here. I'm just going to take your job for a second.
Yep.
Up to 4,000 people might die.
Before everything is
just
said and done.
building all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why would you make this decision? Like, Sepp Blatter, you...
And it's such a
Granted,
shame.
like, as bad a rap and Sepp Blatter's got, he didn't personally make this decision. Several people were paid.
Oh, the whole organization's corrupt. Yeah,
exactly.
It's not just Sepp Blatter. Yeah.
And it's hard to watch, like, some of your, like, the thing you grow up with sport, like, the most... as you know, I'm a sportsman romanticist. I love the storylines. I love everything like that. It's hard to watch when corruption is basically at the heart of it.
Yeah, this is the biggest sporting event in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing else even comes close.
Not close at all.
So when you've got a corruption of that magnitude there, and the fact that they're not willing to change it, although there's been calls from every league in the world.
Every league, just change it. Like, the United States probably warrants it the most.
Yeah.
Australia's would love to do it. But I don't think we're ready yet.
Our bid was one of the worst World Cup bids I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. I was ashamed when I saw that. Okay? You've got to do a better job, Australia.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going in the right direction. Do a better job next time, please.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. The States did deserve it the most.
The States did deserve it, and and we saw from the growing reception around last year's World Cup, that the States are ready for it.
Oh, yeah. Lampard is there. David Villa.
Gerrard's there. Henry had a great career in the MLS for 4 years.
Yeah, Cahill played there. The best Australian player ever.
Agreed.
So, I mean, these are big names.
Lord Cahill.
The greatest.
The Church of Cahill song.
The best header of a ball I've ever seen.
Cahill song United. Alright. Let's go to our N ones for the week, Marcelo. What have you got for us this week?
Game of Thrones, baby.
Game of Thrones. We love Game of Thrones.
This last episode was pretty sketchy.
Oh, God.
Not gonna lie.
I almost... Oh, okay.
The final scene, not even gonna describe it.
Do you want to throw out spoilers so we can talk about it?
Okay, so spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for Game of Thrones. Just tune out for the next 3 minutes or so.
Yep.
What the hell were the writers thinking? Hey,
man, it was impactful. Certainly got us talking
Didn't
about it.
Didn't happen in the books.
Well, I haven't read the book, so,
I don't know.
so let me know what happened then.
He didn't get married to the bloody bastard of Bolton, I'll tell you that. Like, she was not even in the same... Well, to be fair, throwing out some book knowledge, the last 2 Game of Thrones books are boring as shit. Nothing happens after the Red Wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. There's a few things that happen.
There's going to be a lot of fanatics on your case, man.
Yeah, like, not much happens. There's some stuff that might happen near the end of the season that's pretty cool, but, like, they're running out of book material to do, and they have to... No, I give them shouts. They got to do their own stuff. And I love that the book's becoming a different medium from the TV series.
Yeah.
I love the TV series. In my opinion, I think the TV series is better than the book as an unbiased medium of entertainment. But Jesus Christ, man, that scene was hard to watch with Sansa and Ramsay. Like,
oh man, I'm just glad they didn't cut to it. It was more Theon Greyjoy, like,
it's more Theon Greyjoy,
like just like being an idiot.
I really hope that would have been just a result of him just turning around and
just shoving a dagger right in Ramsay's neck, like, like
more hated than Joffrey now.
No, you know, I like the character.
I really like the character, but I mean, like, in terms of like the characters that you love to hate, like,
I don't even love to hate him. Like, what? Like, he's crazy.
He's
like,
just
so
a
what?
sick
like,
bastard.
He's sick. Like,
it's no, but the one thing I like that they changed in the show is, like, in the book, like, he's famous. Like, he's famous at just being this nuts, like, absolutely just completely nuts. But in the TV show, not many people know he's completely batshit crazy. Everyone just thinks he's normal unless you, like, you know, get to know him.
Like you go back to the
Theon knows how crazy he is.
Yeah.
Like, but, like, everyone else just thinks, oh, they legitimize his bastard. Isn't that nice? And now Sansa knows, oh, Jesus Christ, this guy's nuts.
Yeah, like the old Dreadfort scene
Yeah.
where he's taking Theon's penis off, pretty much, right?
Okay.
No, well,
And
like...
rating for the No Regard podcast.
No, but yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah, he's nuts,
but you
yeah.
talk about like hated characters. Oh man, Cersei is my hated character, the most hated character.
Fair enough, yeah.
I hate her so much, and I can't wait for the lady from Highgarden to come in and just wreck her completely.
I can't wait till she gets wrecked. She's going to get wrecked this season.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I've heard that she gets wrecked, but we'll leave that.
3, 2, 1. Hi guys. Now we've had our spoilers conversation. You can tune back in now if you're watching Game of Thrones. Sorry about that.
What was your end one this week, brother?
My end one. Look, I love my movies, man. I'm a big movie buff. I went and saw Mad Max Fury Road this week.
I've never been more jealous in my life.
This is the best action movie I think I've probably seen since The Dark Knight.
Wow.
Since The Dark Knight, obviously Heath Ledger, Christian Nolan, directing everything like that. Best movie since then. I can confidently say that. This is a movie where my heart was in my mouth. Basically the entire movie, incredibly intense. Man, like it's just pretty much a movie goes and it doesn't stop the entire time. Like, it's just, you're always on the edge of your seat. Incredible visuals, incredible just cinematography the whole time. Great performance from Charlize Theron. There was a lot of feminist vibes in this movie, man. It's good to see the girls getting it done.
Yeah, I heard there were a lot of protagonists, like female protagonists.
All the protagonists, like Tom Hardy says, like a total of 5 lines in the entire movie. Girls get it done this movie. Like, it was good to see.
It's good to see, man.
Yeah, women of all different ages, women with disabilities, women who are pregnant. They're all just getting it done, just doing what they need to do to survive, and it was a good movie, man. Big recommendation. See it while it's in cinemas. See it in IMAX. See it in BMAX or IMAX. See it on the big screen.
Alright,
that's what you gotta do.
We'll make sure to do that. Just finishing up now, but next week, what will we be talking about? Obviously, NBA playoffs still going on.
Still going on in the NBA playoffs. We got the UCL final, so we'll be able to break that down for you
Woo, man, that's the best
who
thing.
gets the biggest crown in Europe.
Yep.
We're also going to maybe talk a bit of tennis as well.
Oh yeah, French Open going on. Don't have time to talk about it today, but we'll talk about it next week.
Definitely talk about it.
What's your Twitter handle? What's your Instagram, Nathan?
Nathan Bleakley, if you want to just basically follow me on Instagram or Twitter and just shout me out on any opinions of that. What about yours?
Marcelo_Lucha on Twitter and Marcelo Lucha on Instagram. That'll about do it for this week.
Sick. Alright, as always, it's been a pleasure. I'm Nathan Bleakley.
I'm Marcelo Lucha.
This has been the No Regard podcast.
Thanks, guys.